Hey everybody, it's that time. I'm fixing my brooch, sorry. But you know what time it is. It is time for Asking Agents. Yes! And I am super excited about tonight. We have a very special guest who is going to be joining us on Asking Agent. And guess what? Tonight, we're going to be talking about new construction. So I am adding in my guest right now. And she is going to jump on board and we are going to get started. Yes! Hey, how are you today?
I'm awesome. How are you? I made it.
I am excellent. Thank you so much for asking. So, I am super, super excited to have you as my guest on Ask an Agent. So, before we get started, interruption. But before we get started, I just want to take a moment and just remind everybody about what today is. This is a next episode of Ask an Agent Live, where we're going to be answering your questions on new construction and some of the major changes that we have seen over the last few months, especially since the pandemic hit. We're going to talk about that. We're going to give you some tips and some strategies to help you navigate the new construction arena. So if you have questions, remember to just type them in the chat. It's called Ask an Agent. The show really doesn't work well if you don't have questions. But without further ado, I want to introduce to everyone my phenomenal guest, Elizabeth Ward. She has been a licensed real estate broker in the industry for over 20 years, out here doing the darn thing, making it happen for buyers and sellers. She is phenomenal. She is a wealth of knowledge, and I am so glad that my coach, yes, I too have a coach in real estate, connected me to Elizabeth, and now we're here, we're doing the show, and we're about to answer your questions. So, Elizabeth, welcome, welcome, welcome. Tell everybody about yourself and tell them how you got to this point.
Small steps, I will tell you that. Everything is baby steps along the way, but started in this wonderful real estate career in 1994. It's going to tell my age. I was really, really young though. But launched my business in Burlington, North Carolina. I'm a native of North Carolina and was with one of the largest real estate firms in the nation at the time. Spent 15 years in the trenches, as I say, as all real estate brokers are. Very different times back then than we are in right now. But I definitely was, I love the business. I loved serving customers and clients. And I had the real estate coach that you have as well. I don't know if we can share names, but I'd love to give him a shout out. Mark Zeller is the bomb real estate champions. But, my life was completely spinning out of control. And I reached out to him, and he took my business from a very, a good business to an amazing business. So my peak year was doing 23 million, carrying around 90 listings, and just living the dream. But I was completely out of sync, had no balance whatsoever. And from that point, made some major changes in my life. Took a year off of real estate. Back then, that day was the 4-Day Work Week book came out, so I thought I'll try that. And I
Okay.
did, and was actually more successful in my business when I found some balance and some time with my kids. But, from there, I launched a speaking career. I was on the road for several years training and doing motivational speaking with most of the Coldwell Banker companies across the region, North region, East region. I went out west to Vegas a few times with NAR, and I love that, but my kids were small, so I had to get off the road. And the market changed. People quit paying for people to literally come and speak and motivate. As you know, the market crashed, and I was a part of that crash. Um, Financing was that crash, not the one that we may see in a couple of years from pricing right now. But from there, I came back, joined a different real estate firm, and I was a huge land acquisition person for several different builders, big box builders as they called them. And from that launched me into where I'm at now. And I don't mind saying it at all. I'm with America's #1 builder. I was hired to come and bridge the gap between the co-broke world and the on-site world, because I
Okay.
have raised I had ran on-site teams for many different builders,
Okay.
and I saw the big problem with why co-brokers did not participate in the on-site world. So when 2012, I came on board with America's #1 builder, said I would give it 2 years, and here I am still a part of a great company. I'm the broker in charge for the state of North Carolina, and I manage an amazing group of about 20 agents and help them to basically work with brokers, help them bridge the gap, and make sure brokers understand how easy it is to sell new homes, not to be scared of that process. And I deal day to day with consumers with concerns and problems, and I've seen so many changes in the new homes industry since I started. So, that's a little bit about me, where I'm at, and thank you for having me here. I'm excited and hope people have questions that we can answer to help them.
Wow, I've learned a lot about you in just that little bit of time, Miss Elizabeth. Yes, auntie. We need to talk a little bit more after this show, okay? We for real need to connect, like 23 million in a year? Girl, yes.
And you know what? That was only in Alamance County, average sales price back in that time was maybe 110,000. So
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
154 units to get to that volume. But
Wow.
I lived the business. If someone was mowing their grass or cleaning out their garage, I was pulling in their yard to see if they were going to sell their home. So
Wow.
different times, different market, but relationships work, and I built a lot of great relationships. So.
Yes, she just said a key tip there that you guys need to take no matter what industry you're in, and that's relationships. Okay, relationships are everything. Just for those of you all that are new that just don't happen to know my story, I launched my own business in the pandemic on June 5th of 2020, okay? And I've been seeing a lot of success over the last few months, and I hands down hand that to Dirk as well, because he really has, got me to the point of where I really need to be focusing, and it is just working. So I agree, Dirk with Real Estate Champions is phenomenal, okay? But it's also about the relationships that you build, okay?
Yes.
And so you guys, I make sure that I treat people the way I want to be treated, and that I do what I can to ensure that everyone gets what it is that they want, okay?
Yeah.
So we're going to jump in here, though, with some of our questions. So, Elizabeth, I am seeing builders go to a highest and best. And I am like, why?
Well, you know what? We just did a meeting last week, and we removed the highest and best terminology from, just we don't want to use that term. The co-broke world, I see the point for it in residential resale. In our world, though, what we have done, and I can only speak for where I'm at and what I'm doing.
Right.
But I will tell you, in my opinion, it's a best practice, because to really, and I've talked to several different leaders from my world in several different areas, and we may get an inventory home back on the market. And if we are to hoard that home, like if we don't put it back on MLS, we're hurting our co-broke partnerships by not giving them the ability to sell it, number one. But we're also not doing the best justice for the seller. So our job is to represent our seller. We don't build for practice. Mr. Horton didn't make it this far on giving homes away either, but we're going to get the most amount of money for that home based on the market. And a home is going to sell for what a buyer's going to pay and what a seller is going to sell for. So
Absolutely.
when we get a home, what we call a term, when we get that termination back on the market, we're mandating a 24 to 48 hour MLS requirement. So we're back on, so that our agents that work with us and have our partnerships with our in-house agents can reach out, say, we have inventory. I don't know about your inventory. You're Charlotte, and I know your inventory is low. It's crazy. We're like Triad MLS here is less than 1,200 homes on the market right now, when at this time last year was over 5,000.
Right.
So inventory is really needed. So just to answer that highest and best, we are also getting multiple offers. And someone just called and said, what? New homes are getting multiple offers? We do get them. It's not all the time. But the beautiful thing I can tell you is if you're buying a new home, and this is not just with me as a builder and who I represent, but any new homes builder, guess what? They probably have that same house plan, same elevation somewhere else in your marketplace. So if it's a win-win and it checks all the boxes for your customer, just dive a little deeper and ask, well, where else are you building this particular home in that floor plan? You know, we're not a brick ranch with a picket fence and a swing in the backyard on a corner lot that's 12 years old. We're brand new homes. No one's lived in them. I'd like to say, you know, they're COVID free, we hope. But
Right.
you know, there's nobody else's mess in the house. You're getting brand new carpet, beautiful homes, quality, and you're also getting the best price in the market. Even if it's a multiple offer, your price is based on what sticks and bricks are running right now, and
Right.
that price is just going to keep going up.
Yeah.
I know that was a long answer to a short question, but did that help?
It did help, absolutely, because I ran into it just the other night. I had a client night before last night. We're out like at 8:30 at night walking lots because we had less than 24 hours to get our offer in on an inventory home. And so it
Yeah.
was like we at one point we had to turn the flashlights on our phones to walk through. One of the houses had started framing, so we're walking through like, and I'm pointing. I'm like, okay, so here's the dining room is right here. Okay, all right, that's the master back there. And just to make sure now let's look at this backyard. See how the backyard is going to be. It's kind of sloping. Are you okay with that? Before you make that decision, and you want to point those things out. So yeah, that definitely helps. And I understand where you're coming from, and that helps me explain that to my buyers a little bit better. There's a lot of people that are on a lot of homes that are doing wait lists. Different builders are doing wait lists. I talked to a builder today. They had 128 names on the wait list and like 28 lots.
Yes, we have the same problem here. I have a new community that's launching that has 250 people on the wait list. And we will not have but 58 homes in that community. So, however, we have lots of other lots and inventory coming, over 1,000 in the Triad just this year. So we're bringing the most amount of inventory here in my market. I know that Charlotte is doing the same. Asheville, Wilmington, they're coming, and there's other big box builders coming into all these areas as well because they know the inventory is needed. So
now I do understand it, and I'm not for sure if your particular company has done this, but some builders have slowed down their release of homes. So instead of normally where you could sell 15 to 20 homes, they've slowed it down. They're only releasing maybe 3 or 4 homes a month. Are you all doing that as well?
we're not necessarily reducing how many we're releasing. What we have changed is when we are releasing them, which is very different than 2 years ago. You'll hear the terminology in new home sales, dirt sales or pre-sales. A lot of builders are not doing dirt sales or pre-sales right now. And the true reason for that is there is so much increase in supplies and material cost. The other thing I'm going to have to tell you, what I thrive on and what we live for, is that customer experience. If we have a customer contract on a dirt lot or a pre-sale or a home that's even just now permitted, there's a large risk that there's a waiting time frame that we don't want to have to wait for windows or wait for plumbing or wait for supplies, but that customer's going to have to wait it out too, and it puts them at a very uncomfortable position, especially if they're in a lease, or if they're selling their home. It's just the time frame is a little awkward and makes that customer experience not the best. So we are releasing homes, the different places in North Carolina and South Carolina. My East region area is doing it based on their particular division's request by their president. But my particular area is more or less waiting until the homes are sheetrocked and the windows are in, because then we can give that customer a closing date. We can give them a tentative time frame to make plans for getting their pod and getting their movers in place, and that experience is going to be a whole lot better. We also can run cost. We're able to really scrub the house, make sure everything is in it, and that the home is either one, not underpriced, or two, overpriced. So we're really honoring the business to make it truly the best experience for the customer, and it's a win-win for them.
Another change that I have seen with new construction is a lot of builders are going away from that blue tape process. They're now doing this, the blue tape, where we're blue taping the entire wall. They're going away from that and making it more of when you come in for that new home orientation, everything is truly really done, and you shouldn't have to spend the day blue taping the whole wall.
You are spot on the way it should be done. You know, I personally would much prefer the customer to come home and not find one thing wrong that they see, and they're then wowed by it. But then you also have other customers that want to come in and have a final say. So to me, that's up to my team and their builder to have communication to what that customer wants, because we truly do have some people, they want to come in with their home inspector, do a full home inspection, even on a brand new construction, which is not against any policy, it's allowed, and allow them their experience to just cross all the T's and dot all the I's. But to me, if inventory can be completed, floors are clean, house is spotless, no blue tape needed, that would be the best world. But sometimes we're closing 40 houses in one day with one builder. So it makes that process timing wise a little bit more difficult.
Yeah.
But
you said a key thing there that I want to just back up and touch on, is that you said sometimes people want to come in and bring their inspector, and that is something as a buyer's agent I highly recommend. And the only thing that I tell people is why I highly recommend you have a third-party inspector, I said, is because home is built by man and man is not perfect.
Amen. That is true.
Just that simple. And when you have that third part, go ahead.
Yeah, there's no perfect home. Even a brand new home's not a perfect home. And people just have to understand that. You know, it may be perfect and fit their boxes of open space and bedroom bath count, but they're built by man. And even the best of my best builders, by the way, they're not hammering the nails and laying the floor or painting the walls. We have a vendor that's doing all of that.
Right.
We're only as good as our vendors are. So I always do recommend, I have no problem with someone getting a home inspection. I just bought a brand new home myself last year. I had paid $450 to have the home inspected, and it was my own company I was buying from, because I want somebody to put that electronic thing in every outlet, make sure it's right, make sure the GFCI is on good. Just the startup, it's just peace of mind and comfort. Even with a warranty, it's worth it. Yeah,
I agree. I had a client, we did her inspection, and this morning she called me and she said, I'm not finding anything on the report. What's wrong? I said, you just paid for peace of mind.
That's exactly right. That's
what happened here. And you know, and I was telling the inspector, I said, my client was a bit surprised that we didn't find anything. And he said, well, do you want to go to the doctor and have the doctor tell you something's wrong with you? Or would you like the doctor to tell you you're okay? I said, exactly.
Exactly. Yeah. I agree with you there. I see questions. Do you see these questions?
Yes.
You want me to address these?
One of the questions are, what are the pros and cons of buying new construction?
Well, I can give you lots of pros. Maybe you can help on the con side. You know, brand new is to me, if you look at a brand new car, you lose value the day you buy it. If you buy a brand new home, you are gaining value the day you buy it, especially if you're in a brand new home in a brand new community. Those homes are going to launch at the very best price, typically go up in price every 3 to 5 sales. So you're going to see huge equity. by the time the 10th home is built or 15th home is built. We go up on a standard $2,000 on townhomes on the third sale, and that's year round. We go up $3,000 in residential on the third sale. So I did 2 price increases just today, and I had price increases already on Monday. And
Wow.
that is just a standard because of the market right now and to cover construction cost. But it's a win-win. So the sooner you buy, the better off you are with new construction. Don't wait. You know, the term, you know, I'm sure you've heard the home you want to buy tomorrow is the one someone else is going to buy today.
Exactly.
It used to be a line. I mean, in 1994, that was the first script that I learned. And that is a fact. That is not a script. It is such a fact. And,
Yeah.
you know, I hate to even say it, but even right now in this crazy market, the price is that price the moment you're there. It may not be the same price 2 hours from now.
Mm-mm.
So it's just crazy. But that pro of new construction, one, you're going to get a warranty. Your builders, most likely, big box builder is going to have a 1 year, a 2 year, some a 10 year. Ours just goes to 10 years. Transferable warranty, which is amazing. If you relocate or move, you're going to be able to leave that warranty with your resale buyer. New home, again, is brand new. It's yours. Back in the day, you could customize. A custom builder, you're still going to be able to customize with. A production builder is not a custom builder. A production builder is building same home, same plans, different elevations, typically with a package selection and few options. Depending on the stage of when you're buying, certain builders are going to be able to give you options. Certain builders have no options anymore. It is what it is. So you're just going to have to do that research. But, you know, that would be what I would say is a pro. Con is if you're not buying inventory complete, buyer ready home, you're in a little bit of that waiting process right now. You may be waiting on the vinyl siding. You may be waiting on the windows. You may be waiting on certain elements. We are seeing some small minor changes. We may have a particular vinyl color that's no longer even available that has to be changed midstream to a different color. Or a carpet has to be changed to a very similar carpet, but not the same as what we started with. And that's across the country. That's not just here in North Carolina. It's everywhere. It's COVID. It's just supply and demand. It's very different. But you can do the cons if you want to. I'll let you do the cons. I'd love to hear them. But, you know,
What are the cons of new construction? I don't think that there's a whole lot of cons of new construction. I tell people in this particular market, I do try to push my buyers to new construction only because of the heartache that I've seen so many buyers go through with the multiple offers and in resale. I was on a radio show last night, and one of the questions was what advice would I give to buyers about handling this market? And I said, you got to have, number one, patience, and you got to have some tough skin. I said, and then I want you to see it from the realtor's point of view, because you're not our only client. So every no that we're getting for you, we're also probably getting that for a good four to five or six other buyers as well. So that dagger that you're getting in the heart, we're getting it 10 times in the heart the same day or the same week when it comes to resale. And I kind of felt that way the other day with the new construction when we didn't win out in our multiple offer for new construction. I was like, it's new construction though.
yes, and that's different. That's different. You know, and I would say probably thinking on the cons too, it's not most new construction neighborhoods they're not character of lots of different houses. You're going to see similarities. Some people consider that a con, some it doesn't matter. You're not going to get 2 or 3 acre lots with most production builders. You're going to get a 17,000 to 24,000 square foot lot at the max. So that might be a con for someone. But that's really it, in my opinion, for cons. New is the way to go for value, and if you're going to be reselling or eventually keep it as a rental, I would go that way in a heartbeat before I bought a fixer upper.
Mm-hmm. I agree with you 100%. The very first home that I bought was in 2008 in the middle of the crash. And
Ooh.
back then, let me tell you how much things have changed. And I know you remember this from back then. Back then, builders, you couldn't give away a house, okay? And they were giving like $24,000 off the price.
Oh, yeah.
I wish they'd give $1,000 off the price right now. They're giving nothing.
Yeah, that's the change. No negotiating, zero, zilch. We do pay, 5,000 closing costs with our preferred lender, but that's it. There is no, and we have a Main Street Stars if you're a healthcare nurse, doctor, first, anyone that's in the service profession for that, teachers, we give $1,000, but that's it. Yes. When I started in 2012, we would rip out granite, change it, modify, make tons of changes just to fit a customer's needs. I would love to help all the customers meet all of their needs and get all of their wish lists, but it's just not going to happen. It is the home that we built that we know will sell with the most beautiful colors at the very best price, and we hope you want it to be yours today. Pretty
exactly. So we've got another question that says, why was there a time limit on the inventory home? I think
I'd
that's
have
what
to
I said. We had 24 hours to get our offer in.
Yeah, fair. If you want to confirm in regards to what you're asking on that, if you're confirming MLS, why the wait for MLS? And that is to make sure that the home is on the market, back on the web, just to make sure that the public sees it. There's a time frame for Realtor.com to post and hit. There's a time frame for Zillow to post and hit. We feel like we're giving the best advantage to the consumer by putting a home on the market minimum 24 hours to be back for everyone to have the ability to know it's available. We also are sending out e-blasts to all of our consumers that are registered, in our CRM to respond to let them know a home is on the market. I just had a customer really upset last week. I'll just tell you, they particularly wanted one particular plan, and a home came back on the market in a community. It was not that plan. So we put it on MLS. They were very upset because we didn't let them specifically know, but of course they thought it was the plan. We only thought they wanted that particular plan. The reality is they would have wanted this particular home because it was in this neighborhood, and they would have paid the price that we wanted, and they were upset that we didn't let them know. So you've got to, all customers are waiting for homes. You know this. So we're just trying to be the best we can for that broker relationship and for the consumer. So
okay, clarification. I believe Nicole said she was walking through with a client and they had 24 hours. Was curious what the time limit was for. And that's what you were just talking about right there. It was in multiple offers. That was the deadline.
So for a consumer to understand, in the state of North Carolina, I don't know about South Carolina's laws, but in North Carolina, a seller can give a highest and best time. They can say, I'm going to take all offers by 4 p.m. on Friday and give a date. So that is that I'm assuming what you were under that gun with that, Nicole? You had a 24-hour time frame to submit your offer.
Yep.
And sadly, the offers could come in at 9 that morning, and the seller's going to wait until 4 p.m. to get all offers.
Yeah.
So
we have, how long is the warranty for new construction, and does it vary with different builders?
It does vary with different builders. Many builders are only going to be typically 1 year, some are 2. We have a 1-year walk at 11 months, and then a 2-year, and then a 10-year. So I would encourage you to make sure you know that information. Probably more important than knowing their warranty is know their financial status, meaning, are they going to be in business next year?
Right.
That's a concern that I would have with some newer builders or custom builders. If they're not, that was the big concern back in 2006, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Sadly, a lot of custom builders went bankrupt. They're now remodeling homes. They're doing other things, but they could not withstand the market. And, I don't know who could, very few could. So your big D.R. Hortons, Lennar, Pulte, those made it in the marketplace, but they made it because they're financially strong companies. So
Right.
I would encourage you to be mindful of who you're buying with, as well as their practices right now. Are they giving you a guaranteed price, or are they giving you an escalator price? Are they giving you just a guarantee earnest money on a lot with no price? You know, be very careful of giving your money to someone without some guarantees, would be my recommendation.
You're absolutely right. Back to when I bought my first house back in September 11th, 2008, the builder was Regent Homes, who is
Yeah,
no longer around.
they're now D.R. Horton. Yes, we bought them.
Exactly.
Yes, yes,
Yeah.
great operation. You know, that was a very smart startup builder that, for people that do not know or had heard of Regent Homes, which is now Express Homes, a business of D.R. Horton, these guys put these floor plans together in the bonus room over a pool table. This is the story I heard, but they put the floor plans together based on how many 2x4s it would take, exactly the measurements of the sheetrock. So they eliminated a lot of waste. So you were not having when a home was finished, the yard was clean. It wasn't full of wasted debris and construction. And so that is why Regent Homes it used to be the slogan was why rent? And the prices were the least expensive on the marketplace because they were bringing the value to the customer without overcharging because of wasted materials. Does that make sense?
Hmm.
Yeah.
And the floor plan was amazing. My master bedroom was humongous. I can't find a master bedroom that big with the closet the size of an entire bedroom.
That's,
Okay. And
I'm,
I just had a
yep,
closing a couple weeks ago with a young lady who has it's a slightly smaller square footage, but essentially the exact same floor plan. And I got so nostalgic every time we walked the house. I was just like, this was my first house.
yeah, they're great plans. They still are
Yeah.
today. They're what I consider some of the most square footage for the money. You know, when I saw their floor plans and their product line, I was amazed at 3,000, 3,500 square foot. Um, big houses, big bedrooms, big living space. It checked a lot of boxes for a lot of people. So,
Okay, got another question for you because
okay.
sometimes I will get clients who do not want to go just a little bit further out into the outskirts of a major city to get the dollar value. Explain to them why they should consider some of the outskirts.
You know, the outskirts is where the market's going. You know, there's no more land in most cities. So finding the inner city land to build and develop on, one, if you get it, you're going to pay a fortune for it because the land cost is so much. Gosh,
Right.
especially Charlotte, you know, land is crazy expensive. Raleigh and
Crazy.
Charlotte, out the roof.
Yeah.
Cary, out the roof. But yes, I would encourage you to look because of the price and the value, as well as some of these rural communities are typically within a 10 to 15 minute drive. Most are going to have maybe a community septic, but they're going to have a city sewer connection. There's going to be just more pros to that, but the lots may be larger as well. You know, so if you're in a community septic, those are going to be your larger lots. I would just not look. And I will tell you one of the biggest pros, in my opinion, is probably the taxes are going to be less. You may not have to pay city taxes. You're going to get county taxes only. Some of our least expensive HOA, you know, the buyers, I don't want a HOA. Well, let me tell you, folks, you're probably not going to buy a home. 98% of homes on the market have an HOA. It may only be 100 a year. It may just be the maintenance of something small, but there is going to be some kind of HOA. But some people just don't want them. We have one community right now that has no HOA, and I haven't seen that in 12 years. And it is because it's on the outskirts, rural area, Lexington, North Carolina, zero
Yeah.
HOA.
Wow.
And I have a house that just came back on the market.
That's kind of far from Charlotte, just so y'all know. When I say outskirts, I'm not talking go out to Lexington, okay?
Yeah, you can. Yes, you can. You can register them and send them on.
That hour drive out there.
You can come see me. Come on.
Exactly.
It's a great connection to Salisbury. So if you have somebody working in Salisbury, really good area.
Absolutely, absolutely. So I'm just going to recap because we're about halfway through the show here. For those that are just joining us, you are on Ask an Agent with the wonderful Elizabeth Ward. Been in the industry forever. Okay, started back when she was 2.
That's right. Sounds good. Sounds good.
I have been killing the game ever since. Did a number of years with a major national company, and then ran several divisions of several different companies, and is running a division now as the broker in charge of the entire state of North Carolina for the #1 builder. And so I asked her to come on the show to talk to us a little bit about new construction, because that's the side that she is on, and that is what things are moving to, because resale homes, like she said, inventory is super low, and what we have now to turn to is new construction. So I had just asked the question about, hey, going out into the outskirts when it comes to new construction, and you want to be open to that. You want to be open to that. Here's the other reason why you want to be open to that. A lot of times you're able to get a larger lot, okay, further out, because like she said, the inner city, we're running out of land. So your lot is a little bit bigger the further out that you go. People talking about, oh, I want a yard, I want a backyard, I want a front yard, I want a side yard. I don't want to be able to reach out the window and touch my neighbor. You need to go outside the city then, okay?
That's right.
Yeah, it doesn't take that long to get places. What other questions do you all have? Let us know. Just drop them in the chat. We are talking about new construction. Elizabeth, what else are you seeing out there with the industry? What kind of shifts are you seeing happening besides the quadruple lumber prices?
You know, the one thing, you know, and it's a question for you as a co-broker right now.
Okay.
And I see it is, why are people still scared of new construction? You know, is it just because they don't know, they don't understand the process? Is it that they're not seeing that completed walk and touch, smell, feel? You know, they're buying something kind of sight unseen, although we have models they can see, we have digital videos and virtual tours. We have everything they could see to know what that finish is going to be like. But why do you think people are scared? I'm curious of that, because that's something that's never changed. Even today, people are scared of new construction.
It's all about control. Anything that's out of someone's control, it sends them into a panic. It sends them through anxiety. And, oh, I don't want to do it. Oh, what? Move to the outskirts? I'm not familiar with the area. Learn the area. You wasn't familiar with the area where you was at now until you moved there, right?
That's true. That's true.
It just, people need to just relax, relate, release, get a therapist, and let's push on and get you into a home, okay?
Yes. Well, and you know, here's the other thing too. I can tell you from our looking at land, when we look at land and evaluate land where we're going to buy and build, there's a lot of boxes that have to be checked. We're not going to build in a bad school zone. We're just not. We're not going to, you know, so we look at the school ratings. So, you know, we may be on the outskirts in places, but we're only in the outskirts in places that also have higher school zones, scoring, good teacher to child ratios. Those things were very important last year. This year it could change because we're in a virtual world. Sadly, poor kids aren't going back to school. So, you know, things change. So what we also are looking at is more interior home amenities, because you want to have your bedroom size to be good for that child to be able to have desk space. We changed how we model some homes. So you have virtual learning areas, virtual learning centers, a little more importance, instead of maybe a 4-bedroom, then we maybe make that what would have been a 4th bedroom, the loft area. So there's extra living space. You know, I can tell you with COVID, we have not taken one day off. We didn't shut the models down. We didn't stop. We were deemed essential workers because everybody was in their home or their apartment freaking out because they were locked up. found out everything they hated about their home and wanted new. Which was great. But holy cow, I mean, it has been a crazy market. It has been very different. And then the shortages came, and that's been very different. So it's something different every day. It's a different market. You have to have thick skin. You also have to be very nimble and just roll with it. And I just try to find joy in everything. There has to be a win for everyone, and it has to be the win for the customer. So it's a lot more TLC, a lot more follow-up and communication to not just the customer, but to you, the buyer's agents, and making it just as good as it can be to get through it.
I will, for my agents that are on the line, I will tell you that D.R. Horton and D.R. Horton Express does co-broker at a good whopping 3%.
Yes.
They have not lowered that at all.
Not changed.
When the North Carolina buyer agency agreement says that the buyer is responsible for the difference when they're not paying full commission, you can point that out to your buyer. Well, you know what? I know you didn't really want to be in the outskirts, but this builder is paying full commission, and you don't have to pay the difference. See how quickly your buyer runs to the outskirts then.
That's true. Just register. I tell brokers all the time, please just register your customer. Don't show a community that's down the street resale and not show new construction because you're scared of it. Don't be intimidated by it. Learn the process. Go on site and meet with the on-site agent. Learn the process and don't be in fear of it, because inventory is low and they need new home sales communities as their partners. They need,
absolutely.
It's a win-win for everybody. And the goal is that we have the inventory for you to be able to sell the product. And yes,
absolutely.
Pay top commission. Pay you that commission gladly.
Yes, yes. I actually had a underwriter on here a few weeks ago, and they were talking about a VIP program. And I know every builder doesn't have that. Do you all have a VIP program?
And for lending, or did you for a co-broker?
No, for lending.
For lending.
Well, yeah.
We have our own preferred lender, DHI Mortgage, and we ask every customer to please at least give them an opportunity. They are going to be the best partner for them. They know how we operate. They have amazing programs, as most all and any other banks. They do USDA, VA, FHA, conventional, and the rate is competitive. We also have, where incentives are out the door, we have an incentive. We're going to always pay $5,000. My market area is $5,000 closing costs to that preferred lender. But we also have across the East region right now what's called Builder Forward. Builder Forward is going to be an amount of money that the company is giving that is only allocated to the people buying and using it right now. So it's going to run out. When the money runs out, it's gone. But it's buying down the really low rates that are out there right now, even lower. So a customer can come in and use our preferred lender and get Builder Forward and use that money with Builder Forward to even have a lower rate. So that's an incentive that is that's a huge win-win. It gives the buyer more buying power. They can qualify for more with a lower rate. So they may be in fear of that market and new homes right now, and they may be in fear of the price, but they don't know if they don't ask. So let them get pre-approved, go online, do the application, and buy your new home today. That easy.
Buy your new home today with me as your realtor.
Yes, well, choose D.R. Horton. Yes. Every day. Every day.
Every day. Let's make it happen.
There's other great builders out there. I know that there are, but we are the best for a reason. We are. We are.
You're number one for a reason, right?
We are number one for a reason. That is a fact. Yes. We
love it.
Family. Our motto is we sell you a home for every stage of life, and that is truly a fact. We have our Express Homes, which is our first-time home buyer product line, and Freedom Homes, which is active adult, which is not necessarily age targeted, but it is one level, typically lower maintenance homes. And then our D.R. Horton is our all-time brand. And then some market areas, Charlotte, Raleigh, may have Emerald. We do not have that here in Greensboro. It just didn't work in our price market. But we have 4 brands, and they're all over the country.
Love it, love it, love it. So we have Nicole. In a scenario where the builder has a preferred lender, how would you handle that versus a preferred lender that you recommend? I tell all of my people, compare, compare, compare. That's
You
it.
got it. Yeah.
Make application with the builder's lender. They're giving incentives. Take what the builder's lender is doing, give it to your other lender, and have them compare. Everybody wants you in a home, okay? And the other lender, if they can't beat it, they're going to be honest and say, hey, listen, I can't do it. Their lenders, it's better for you to go with them. They're not going to try to convince you to stay, and it's not in your best interest.
You're right. That's exactly
At least
right.
the people that I work with.
Yeah.
I work with people who are honest and upfront and are going to tell you the truth. Like, hey, I can't beat that. I can't match it. I can't come close. In fact, I had it happen where a young lady was with one lender who was offering some type of incentives. It wasn't new construction. This is on resale, okay? And then I said, well, just compare with my lender. And then when we talked with my lender said, hey, listen, the rate they're quoting you, I can't beat that. You need to stick with them.
Yeah. Yeah. And they're honest. And DHI is full truth, transparency, trust. I'm going to tell you. They're going to make sure that they can be very clear if that customer is solid, they can make it, or if they can't, or if they don't have the program for them, they have backup lenders that they'll refer out. And with that, we'll also pay some closing costs. So we just want to give them the best opportunity, to understand the market, understand financing, and get the best price for them.
And give the best price. Now, this next question is, what if I have my own land? Are you a builder that you guys will build one of your plans on my land?
No, I'm sorry. We're not. We get asked that question a lot. There are builders that will do that, but we're not one of them. Everything that we have is going to be in a community that is typically going to have 30 or more homes.
Okay. And my another question, and you may or may not know the answer to this, okay? But you've been around long enough to see it all. So I've seen some communities where it's a major builder like yourself, but they're building homes to rent.
Yes, you are going to see a lot of that. I'm going to tell you, the rental world is ever changing too. Let's just say that is a whole different. You're seeing all types of apartment complexes. Just in my county, there's a builder that is building communities of 40, completely finishes the home and then puts those homes for rent. He does build to rent. It's all over the place. First, I want to say foremost, the one thing our division has done, we do not sell in our communities to investors. We stopped that about 9 months ago because we had a lot of investors that were buying up the new homes, which I think, sure, new homes are the best investments. They're the best investments, though, for home buyers. And when the inventory started dropping and changing, we wanted to make sure that we were honoring our customers, that we were giving the customer that wanted a primary residence the best chance at the American dream, not an investor. So our division has stopped investor sales, but you are going to see, not just with D.R. Horton, but with many other builders, build to rent is coming. There's huge finance from hedge funds. Different groups are putting together big portfolio packages, and they're building either condos or townhomes or single family residential communities that will be nothing but build to rent. So just watch that. We don't have it yet, but that's not to say we won't have it very soon. It's coming. It is coming. It's being tested.
The hurt on my face.
I know.
I really wondered. I'm like, why would they? It's people out here that's trying to buy houses. Why you got no houses for the people who's trying to buy and you don't want to build rentals? I don't understand.
But that's part of real estate, Nicole.
Yeah.
Rentals is part of real estate, and investing is part of real estate. So you have to realize there's enough for everybody. There's enough for everybody. But I will tell you, we have customers right now that are having trouble. They're buying our homes with us, but they're trying to find places to rent while they're in the process of waiting. There's not even rentals available. So the inventory is not only low, the rental inventory is low as well. So it's just crazy. Crazy time.
It's because all the people are moving here because we're such a great state to live in. That's
You,
why.
that is exactly right. Four seasons, great area, great taxes. Yes, you are seeing North Carolina and South Carolina is definitely getting the move from the north to here, as well as the West Coast to here. Our taxes are amazing. Hope that doesn't change.
I
It's a
know, right?
win-win. Yeah.
Now, I'm going to get off topic a little bit here. You piqued my interest when you said you used to speak and travel. What were some of the things that you would talk about in your speaking engagements?
I had a program called the 3B Method. It's living busy, balanced, and blessed. And that message was clearly directed to agents that were burning the candle at both ends, not time blocking their life, not spending quality time at home with their family. The one thing I'm going to tell you that's not changed from 2000, when I started in 1994 to when I was on the road speaking to now, whatever you're doing in life, what I'm doing, what you're doing, Nicole, what anybody that's listening is doing, it is going to control you unless you control it.
That
So
part.
we have to always every day wake up, one, do what you love. So I'm always just trying to drill passion and purpose into people and just fill people up with the true belief that no one should have control of your life but you. So you have to wake up every day with a plan. Actually, you should actually go to bed on Sunday night with a plan for the entire week or the next 2 weeks, And in the real estate business, no different in the co-broke world than it is on site or in anything with sales. The outcome of your business has nothing to do with anything but how many appointments do you have. It's all about conversion. So no matter what, my busy, balanced, and blessed, busy was making sure you were busy enough to convert, to build a pipeline, set goals. If you want a rolling 20 listings or rolling 30 listings or rolling 90 listings, or if you just work buyers, then you need to have a pipeline of however many deals in the queue to close. Everything is based on what are your goals in life. Balanced was truly time blocking, learning that sometimes your soccer game with your kid is an appointment that has to be on your calendar, learning that your time with your spouse going on a date is an appointment. And your customers are going to understand that. You're not going to be selling stressed. You're not going to be selling angry. Everyone has to have a life. You should love it, but you should live it. And, to me, blessed was 10 very prominent scriptures that changed my life, that made me who I am today, and just sharing those with other people for their own personal growth. So
Amen.
that was my program.
Amen. Look. I need you to revamp that program.
Okay. I
revive it, get it back going, honey.
Well, I live it with my team every day. We work on it. It's my core of filling them up. They work nonstop. They get 2 days off, but they're working those days off. Co-brokers right now, y'all are working 7 days a week. My son just got into the business last year. He's in Charlotte with you, but he makes a joke saying, "Get into real estate, you'll have a life." Right.
Right.
You have, but you can have a life. You work hard and you play hard, and you have to set those things as priorities. If it's on your calendar, you make it happen, and it's choices. We all wake up with choices every day. Why not choose happiness?
Come on now, why not choose happiness? It's like a client earlier today.
Choose success,
Exactly.
And just be honest. But you got to be honest with yourself. That's just transparency. You either you get on or you get off. You wake up and you got to love what you're doing. When you're in your purpose, and when you're in your passion, and when you're on plan. Somebody said something the other day about, you write your goals in ink, but you write your future in pencil, because things shift and things change. Your journey is going to change. It's ever changing. So that's okay. You can rewrite it every day.
That's right. You said, be happy. A client said to me the other day, "I hope I'm not bothering you." And I said, "You can never bother me. Real estate is what I love to do. I'm in my happy place. Bring the questions on. Let's go look at a house. Let's list your house. Whatever it is, I'm in my happy place. You can't bother me."
That's
And a
right.
lot of agents need to grab that mentality out there. For my agents who are watching, sometimes we have other agents on here watching. So for my agents who are watching, if you love what you do, your client won't bother you.
That's right.
You know,
That's right.
if
But
you set boundaries, your
but you
client won't bother you.
That's right. Or you turn the phone off. You can turn your phone off with a voicemail that's not full, number one. But you turn your phone off with a voicemail that states when you're going to be returning calls, that you're on an appointment. I'll be returning calls between 2 and 3 o'clock this afternoon. If you need a 2-hour break, I'll return calls between 2 and 3 o'clock. Well, number one, turn the phone on and then return the calls. Do as you said you were going to do, and you're then creating trust because you're calling somebody at exactly 2:01. They know that you are doing what you told them you were going to do. But
Exactly.
the most important thing to that, I'm going to have to say, is when you're with your family. My daughter, God bless her, she's 23 now, I think. I can't keep up with it. She introduced me to her kindergarten teacher as Elizabeth Ward Small, Coldwell Banker. She thought my name was Elizabeth Ward Small, Coldwell Banker. And kid you not, she truly thought that, because that's what she heard all the time. I was on the phone, answering the phone in my car. That's what she heard. So when I hit the speaking circuit and really tried to drill down into people's lives on what they were doing that they could make changes that were a positive impact to their children, is be present. Sometimes you have to turn the phone off, change the voicemail. Be present. Don't just be in the same room while they're doing their work. Be present. Be doing their work with them, or be in the yard playing with them. The 5 Love Languages by Gary Chapman is my all-time. I do it. I live it. I talk to people about it all the time. It was part of my program when I was speaking and teaching that to people, because you got to learn what your kid's language is. You got to learn what your spouse's language is. And then you start giving that language to people to fill them up. And in return, you're getting filled. And you kind of got to communicate what your language is to some people too, and say, hey, this is what I need. This is what makes me happy. It's just about communication. It's all communication.
Exactly. And communication with your clients as well. When you say you have an appointment, you don't have to say, I have a nail appointment. I got an appointment.
No, no, but you have an appointment. You
Right.
gotta get the hair done. Yes, yes. But yeah, you're spot on. I used to could identify an engineer in a heartbeat by the love languages, because when you learn the love languages, you can listen. And I will tell you, we're huge Jeff Shore fans. The 4-2, listening to body language and body cues and different things. When you're asking the quick question to point them in the right direction, you're asking the right questions, but you're learning who they are by their actions as well. So I just believe it's all about asking the right questions and the communication that you have with that customer, and then pointing them to new home sales.
That part.
Yeah, don't forget that part. All you co-workers out there.
So what kind of home do you like? Okay, let's go to new home sales. Exactly.
Yeah, don't waste your time with mold and mildew and problems.
Crawl spaces, termites.
Buy new. Yes, gosh.
Buy new.
I do still get that question all the time about crawl spaces and slabs. Gosh, California, everything's on a slab. Think about it now. The malls are on a slab. Slabs are not a problem. People are scared. I think that's why a lot of people were scared of new homes, because of slabs. They're not a problem. Just buy the house.
Just buy the house. You heard it from the great Elizabeth Ward. Just buy the house.
Buy the house.
I love it. Well, listen, we are coming up on the end of the broadcast. We've got about 2 minutes left. Elizabeth, if someone wanted to get in touch with you, how can they reach you? How can they follow you on social media?
Well, I'm all over social media. It is Liz Ward, ITIZLIZWARD. It's all personal, though. It's not a lot of the real estate business. I do a lot of Facebook posts live on my Facebook page of our new communities. Remember, I'm not selling anymore. I'm leading and training and helping my team to grow and sell. But I'm Elizabeth Ward on Facebook. I have two separate pages. So they can find me there, as well as email is eward@drhorton.com. Be glad to help anyone I can with anybody.
Awesome. And ladies and
I was
gentlemen,
pointing in the right direction.
that's right. Yeah. You looking for a realtor? Right here.
I'm in the right direction. This is your Charlotte girl, right?
That's right. That's right. I actually handle from Greensboro down to Atlanta, Elizabeth. I'm licensed in 3 states.
Hey, if you come to Greensboro, then that house that just came on the market today in Lexington is not that far.
I gotta find a buyer that wants to be there. That's the thing.
But you get on the phone tomorrow and find a buyer. It will
Find a
be
buyer.
fun.
All right, that's my goal.
Yeah.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, you know how to get in touch with me. ColesKeys.com. You can follow me on all social media platforms at Coles Keys, and of course on my YouTube at Coles Keys LLC. Thank you, Miss Elizabeth, for joining us. I had a great time. And thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for joining us. We'll see you next time. Good night.
Good night. Bye-bye.